So, I'm back. Jeff Healy here. Maybe I should change my name from Jeff Healy to something else. No one can ever find me because of someone else named Jeff Healy, who was the blind guitar player from Roadhouse, became quite famous. In fact, some guy just a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't even a week ago, I don't think, he was on a Rush Facebook group that I'm part of, and I posted something. Next thing you know, I have a message in my messenger box from this guy telling me what a complete and total piece of shit I am, because he really doubts that my name is Jeff Healy, right? I mean, how do you get the name Jeff Healy? Me and the guy from, I guess he was Canada, you know, blind guitarist. I think we both got our names the same way. Our mothers were just completely bored and didn't really care, so they opened a phone book and went, Jeff, yeah, that'll work. And they happened to be named or married to men named Healy, so I think that's how we got our names, and there's plenty of us out there. Anyway, I keep getting notifications on my phone telling me that I have new subscribers, and yet I haven't made a video in quite some time, and I keep thinking, you know, I really should make a video or something if I'm getting these subscribers. So I'm going to make a video kind of saying why I haven't been making videos. And one of the reasons is that I have not had a whole lot of time lately. And that's not really a good excuse, because if I was managing my time better, and I could make more videos. But the other reason is that it kind of just became redundant, that I was making videos, you know, I'd brew some beer, and then I'd brew another beer, and then I'd brew another beer, and it seemed to be the same video over and over again. Also, I don't think I was making very good videos, and this is probably not going to be a very good video either. And I just, you know, I watch a video and I think, you know, it really should be better than that if you're going to actually make something and publish it. So I've been kind of thinking through, you know, what I can do to make better quality videos. I'm not somebody, I don't think, that can be like a YouTube personality. I think Craig Faraway is a decent YouTube personality. People like to watch him, and they just like to watch him because he's him. He doesn't have to be presenting anything particularly important. Another one like that, I think, is the Drunken one, who, he's pretty interesting too. I hope he's still on for whatever reason. I mean, I haven't even been watching other brewers' videos, so I haven't seen one of his videos since he put up a birthday video. That's, I don't know, what, 6 months ago or something? I think he said he was like 48 years old, maybe 49, which makes him just a kid, because I'm 50. Speaking of which, a woman made fun of the way I dress. That's why I put on this shirt for this video, just so that I can say, what do you think of this shirt? Just because I'm curious of what she says. But I've been kind of thinking about it. I'm thinking, you know, 50 years old, do 50-year-olds really wear shirts like this? Well, this one does. I don't care. So I've mentioned that, you know, the videos just seem to be the same over and over again. But in addition, I'm changing my kind of brewing. I've decided from now on I'm not going to brew bad beer anymore. Now let me explain what I mean by bad beer. I don't mean that my beer has been any worse than anyone else's who's typically doing extract brewing. I just think that we're all making bad beer. And sometimes brewers, I've heard Craig Faraway say things like this, where he'll say, you know, this is better than anything you're going to get in the stores, right? Well, okay, I don't think that's true. And let me give you a little thought experiment to think about, or to maybe convince you why it's not true, or that it's not true. Suppose you brewed 2 different brown ales. You have 2 different recipes of brown ales. You're going to do 5 gallons apiece, and you're going to do a double brew day. So you brew one, then you brew the other at the same time, right? You have brown ale number 1 over here, brown ale number 2. They both ferment together in the same room. You do everything together right along, all the way up to carbonating them, cooling them down, and then you're ready to serve. But let's just say that unbeknownst to you, somebody plays a trick on you. And they take an empty keg, they go down to the brew pub, and have it filled up with 5 gallons of their brown ale. And that person brings it home, swaps it out of the kegerator with one of your brown ales. So let's say brown ale number 1 is the one you made, and now the new brown ale number 2 came from the brew pub. And now you're going to go try these. Maybe you try them both on the same day. Maybe you have one day and one the next day. But I'm fairly sure that what would happen is that you'll taste the brown ale that came from the brew pub and you'll go, wow, I made an awesome beer, right? Because you'll still be thinking it's your second brown ale. You'll be calling your friends saying, you know, come over and taste this beer. I think it's the best brown ale I've made so far. And you might say, you know, my other one, it's okay too. But this brown ale is really, really good. And if you don't think that would happen, try it from another perspective. If you're really making better beer than they're making at the craft brew place and then bottling and putting in stores, wouldn't they stop what they're doing and just start making beer the way you do? And then they would put that in stores and they would be putting a better beer in the stores. And then more people would buy that because it's a better beer. I'm tempted to say at first, well, they don't do that, right? And for obvious reasons. But the truth is, it's exactly what they do. Because they started out with whatever was their first beer. And then they came up with a way to make it better. You know, they got their temperature controls better and everything else. And then they came up with better recipes. And then they figured out, you know, which ones are selling the best out there in the marketplace. So they know what the ones people like the best are. And then they make more of those. And they keep tweaking their formula and getting better and better and better with experience. Experience that as the home brewer with, you know, your kit that you go buy from the brew store. Experience that you don't have. Of course they're making much, much better beer. I think I have enough to say. I've said enough on that, but I've kind of decided that I want my beer to be much better than it has been. I've still got 3 of these left. This is I just bought these to make it easy to keep one keg full, and they were half price, and I bought, I think, 15 or 16 of them. I have a traditional draft left, and a Pilsner left, and an Australian bitter left, and what I'm going to do with these, I'm not even going to buy the extra fermentables that go with them and make 5 gallons. I'm just going to take this. It's going to be all the fermentables for a 2-gallon kit. I'll either have to buy a 2-gallon keg or I'll have to bottle it. But other than that, I think I'm done buying these extract things, and when these are gone, I'm done with those. And I'll be switching to all grain. And where switching to all grain is concerned, I bought this great book, Brew Like a Pro, by Dave Miller. He's a guy, he started home brewing, then he got himself a craft brewery, and then he went back to home brewing after selling his craft brewery. And it's a really good book. Somehow I never really was able to finish this book. I think this is a good introduction book, and it's kind of a good reference book when you're first starting, when you're making bad beer. But I think this book, as I'm reading through it, I'm seeing where you can just go step by step and get everything right the first time, create your own all-grain brewery system. And maybe get a situation where, like in my case, you know, temperatures are often not well controlled. I try to keep the ambient air temperature around 70 degrees, but every once in a while, you know, it jumps up to 76, right? And that has an effect on the final product. And learning about things like carbonation. There's a certain, carbonation, this is CO2 molecules. It's just another ingredient that goes in the beer, and you want it in your beer in the right proportion. And it's not just about the bubbles. It's also about the flavor. CO2 imparts a flavor to your beer, right? But what have I heard? I mean, I was misled by, very helpful people offering their best advice, saying you want to get your keg really cold and then put 30 pounds of pressure on it and let it sit for a couple of days, and then it'll be good, right? And it's like, now wait a minute, you're not really controlling for anything there. You're just sort of doing the same thing. And that's, you know, if you're doing that, just stop doing that. For goodness sakes, download or find on the internet a carbonation chart. Whatever beer you're making, this was a California Common, whatever beer, what style you're making, find out what experience has told brewers how many volumes of CO2 they found to be the best tasting in it, right? It's part of the recipe. Look on that chart, find what temperature you're going to carbonate it at, which I recommend using room temperature. Find the pressure that you're going to put on it, which at room temperature would be about 30 pounds per square inch of pressure, whereas if you're down around 5 Celsius or 40 Fahrenheit, it's probably going to be around 6 or 7 degrees of or pounds per square inch of pressure to get the same number of carbon dioxide molecules in the beer. So, I mean, you can shake carbonate. You know what? I'm just going to forget all this, and maybe this will be my next video when I actually do another video. But for right now, I think I've pretty much covered everything that I need to cover. See, I don't even have a beer this time. I have a Monster can, which isn't even a Monster. I just filled it up with water so I'd have something to drink. Okay, so I'm out. And I'll see you when I see you.